Welcome to the Horror Hangout, a podcast where two bearded film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time. My name is Luke Condover Kate, and I'm joined by my regular co-host,
It's Mr. Ben Errington.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I've just before I got on the call, I had to buy VHS 1 and 2 again because I'd bought it once on an old eBay account and just went through the shipping things without even thinking about it. And it ships into a house that I haven't lived in
you mean
10 years.
You mean the films VHS 1 and 2, not not just
the random VHS.
had to buy a VHS.
Although searching for VHS in searching for VHS in eBay doesn't bring up the VHS movie.
So someone else has got it.
Yeah, because I tried to cancel it, but the Music Magpie were on the ball. They'd already shipped it before I'd even ordered it.
Jeez,
so
before
quick.
you'd even, I know exactly what you're thinking about. So someone's gonna hopefully be a horror fan who
hopefully, yeah.
has it.
They said they can refund it if they get returned to sender, but it's only like £3. I'm fine.
I wonder about that sometimes. I think, what if there's something really urgent that I need to see or hear, and it's been sent to my wrong address, like an old address? I often worry about that. Just a little worry.
I've had
just a slight worry.
Old addresses. What was I going to say? I ordered them again today, but as on a whim, I also ordered to the right address this time. I also ordered Shaolin Soccer and Kung Fu Hustle.
Oh, Jesus!
On a whim.
Some great movies there. Just on an absolute whim. Did you pay much for them or not?
£2 each. I was going to get the Blu-ray of Kung Fu Hustle because I feel like that one does deserve a proper Blu-ray edition, but it was like £17 compared to £2. I can't. I'm not.
See, I don't know.
Not made.
I can't remember the last time I bought
Blu-rays.
a brand new DVD. I'm not made of Blu-rays because I was going to watch possibly the Lord of the Rings trilogy this week, but I've only got it on DVD, and I feel like perhaps I might need to upgrade.
Yeah,
but it's a lovely DVD set. It's that extended edition.
Yeah, they're good. I like when you go in the extended menus, and it's like never-ending like branches of a tree. You're just flicking through. I spent like a whole day watching extras on the first one at some point.
No one's ever watched the 100% of what's on those.
No one's platinumed the Lord of the Rings extended.
No.
I was a bit of a DVD Blu-ray snub for a while, thinking I only want to watch things in like 1080p because the idea of watching something in 720 sounds disgusting. No, it sounds so small.
Yeah.
Can you even see that?
Yeah.
I mean, is that I don't know.
Size of a bloody postage stamp, innit?
But then they're so cheap, and I got not a Razorhead, Elephant Man on DVD, and it's fine. It's actually great.
Yeah.
I need to stop being such an idiot.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but sometimes you just really do crave that
premium
high def.
The good thing
premium
about
action,
like a nice Blu-ray set, is that you get the nice box and you read the back, and it feels like an event. You light a candle, get out
light a candle,
moisturizer,
have a face mask, and you go watch this 1080p.
Have a hair.
The problem is, I think when we're streaming stuff, we're mostly used to it streaming at the highest possible quality. If your internet connection's half decent, most of the time you're streaming in.
Yeah, what does Netflix streaming as a standard? Because it doesn't do massive. It doesn't do like 4K. You pay extra, don't you? For
yeah, I think you pay extra for 4K, which sounds pretty crazy anyway. So yeah, sometimes when I'm streaming various things, because I've got like a media server as well on my Mac. But sometimes when I stream things to the TV, like my internet connection just can't handle even like 1080p, which is frustrating.
Yeah.
But, what about the version of today's film? Did you find it was in any way bad quality?
Actually, no. So this film is it's filmed on like I don't know, something like 16mm film or something like that. Like it looks.
Like the more pixels you see from various parts of this film, it's like the better it is. The bigger the pixels.
Oh yeah, because you could see the details. You could see the ghosts between the pixels.
Yeah, but I had some sound issues. I had to watch it with subtitles. I found
Oh,
the sound
the
effects and
accent.
the music was so overwhelming. No.
What did you say?
It wasn't that. The Flaming
Good
Drongo. Oh, you for Flaming sight. Good eye.
Is this even in English? Just dubbed.
It's even in bloody English, the Queen's English. But the sound, the music and the sound effects were so overwhelmingly loud. There was a point where someone was talking and they were just like shuffling through some what I think was papers, and I was like, "That's deafening! I can't hear what they're saying." I had to put subtitles on.
That's weird.
Disappointing.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Have we got any news? I saw some things cracking off.
Yeah. Did you see the
websites.
Hellraiser stuff? Did you see that?
I did see the Hellraiser stuff. TV going to be a TV show. And David
Gordon Green.
Gordon.
So
yeah.
we discussed this last week, and I can't remember what we said. I think we maybe just said that a TV show had been confirmed.
So I thought it was a movie, and I thought it was David Bruckner. But they've done us on both counts because it's a TV show, and it's not even the right David.
Yeah, it's not. They've gone, hang on a minute, you got this wrong. So yeah, HBO series of David Gordon Green directing, Michael Dougherty writing. Michael Dougherty has done Trick or Treat, Krampus, The King of the Monsters.
Is he the right guy to do a Hellraiser TV show?
Halloween.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a bit. I'm not so sure, but you know, only. So yeah, that's very interesting. He said the Horror Hangout Board of Advisors group, which was the Daft Punk, are scoring Dario Argento's new movie, Occhiali Neri.
Yeah. When was the last time Dario Argento made a movie? I was quite surprised that there was a new movie in the works.
The last thing that Daft Punk worked on was the Tron Legacy score, in case you're interested.
That was a great score.
Yeah, I liked it. And I actually quite like that film as well. A lot of people were kind of shitting on that film, but...
I like it. I like it as well.
Yeah, I really like it. Olivia Wilde, I think she's pretty great in that film.
Jeff Bridges.
I don't remember. Jeff Bridges, yeah. So the last thing directed by Dario Argento was Dracula 3D in 2012.
Oh, that's not that long ago, really.
No, but he is also listed here as the director of The Sandman. I don't think it's related to comic book, even though that's just Sandman. That's right, isn't it? Have we got that right?
I think it's called. I don't know.
There seems to be some sort of serial killer movie, so that's in development.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, that's an interesting story. In terms of other news that I've seen, The Last of Us got a new release date. So there were some leaks apparently of storyline and cutscenes and stuff online. I think a disgruntled member of the Naughty Dog.
You naughty dog, yeah.
You naughty dog.
What were you expecting?
Yeah. Well, I'm disgruntled, all right? I'm bloody disgruntled, and I'll do what I want. So a big old leak happened.
Look at all these other employees gruntled happily.
Yeah, happily gruntled, and I'm disgruntled, all right? But recently it was delayed, inevitably delayed.
Yeah.
What word am I thinking of? It was delayed forever. Not forever.
In
you know what I mean?
perpetuity.
It was delayed. It was delayed for a long time, all right? But now it seems like they've gone, right, okay. So even though we bumped, the original release date was supposed to be February, we bumped it to May 29th, then it was delayed again. And now the release date is going to be June 19th, 2020. So whether they've decided to go, right, we better release it, considering all these things have been coming out. I haven't seen anything. Big leaks. Have you seen any big leaks?
No, I've avoided it, really. But I mean, it does sort of, I saw a lot of rumblings about Naughty Dog and like how crazy the crunch is over there, or the crunch culture.
Yeah.
So maybe
culture to crunch.
Maybe this would be an impetus to change. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, possibly. And the last bit of news that I've seen is that there's a Kickstarter from Steam Forged Games for the Resident Evil 3 board game, which is going live today. think it might be live now, actually. It's going live at some point today. And actually, on the Steamforge website, you can play like a 3D online version of the game. So I have a little demo of it, which is pretty cool.
Okay, yeah.
So a board. I did say board game, didn't I?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I didn't back the one for the second one because I ended up being like, I think it was 80 quid, and I just couldn't quite justify it at the time. But we'll see how this goes and see. But it looks pretty cool. Might be interesting. I don't really play many board games, adult board games at least. I play shit like Mousetrap and Mousetrap and Cluedo over and over and over again until my hands are bloodied.
Get a PlayStation, mate. There's a great one that we sometimes play called Betrayal on the House on the Hill or something like that. But like the idea is, I think it's 3 to 4 players or maybe like more than that, 3 to 6 or something, and like the people you are like the standard like creepy little girl or the jock with the baseball bat or the standard sort of teen horror movie archetypes. And you're going into this haunted house, and eventually you'll find out that one of you is the betrayer, and like you won't know how you're betraying everyone until you turn the card over, and then you realize, oh, you've actually lured you're the betrayer. You've lured everyone in here, and then there'll be different scenarios. So one of them, for example, is you shrink all the other players down to like mice-sized, and you release a load of giant cats into the house. So then you've got to kill everyone. It's good. It's I'm making it sound really, really shit, but it's good.
No. I was pretty intrigued actually by that. What the fuck?
So many people.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be a borrower. I did always want to be a borrower.
You always wanted to be a borrower. Yeah, I always feel like it's good because you could like have a little bit of food and it last forever. Like you could have a chocolate biscuit, and it'll last, like weeks on end if you kept it stored correctly in a cool, dry place. But yeah, apart from that, I was pretty scared because Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was pretty scary, wasn't
it? Yeah.
Getting hoovered up, big ant. Although the ants turned out to be alright, didn't it?
And just getting eaten with your cereals.
Yeah. Using a bloody Cheerio as a life raft.
Yeah.
Times. Have you been watching much this week?
When did we record last? It wasn't that long ago, was it?
I think it was a week ago, I believe.
Nah.
About a week ago.
Oh yeah, it was, yeah. Okay, so I watched Day of the Dead for our Facebook movie night thing. Day of the Dead we watched.
Very nice.
I watched it for the first time for this podcast a year or two ago, maybe. And it's one of my favorite horror movies now. It's amazing. It's really fun. The gore is like next level. I mean, when people are getting pulled apart, it's a joy to see for all. But pulled it's
like wet.
Yeah, it's
pulled apart like wet tissue paper.
Exactly. There's that bit that I still love where someone's screaming, and as their vocal cords are getting ripped, it gets like higher and higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's pretty intense.
And also Bub. That was a moment for everyone who hadn't seen the film before. When Bub gets his own back. It's good. The only thing is, some people who were watching it were like, because the soldiers are all super racist. So they were like, and every time they said something racist, people were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they just said that racist thing." I'm like, "Yeah, but they're the bad guys. Like, we're not supposed to. We're not supposed to like, empathize with them. They can be racist. That's fine because they're the bad people.
And then when they get eaten, it's even more satisfying.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
When they get their vocal cords torn out.
Yeah, I saw I finished Swamp Thing Friday night. I thought I had 3 episodes left. I just drank 3 those big Cobra beers and just plowed through.
Very nice. Pissing like a racehorse.
Yeah, exactly. And it never. All you need is first 2 episodes. It never hits those gory.
How many episodes are there?
10, 11 or something. So, and also it seems to set up. It seems to be in the mind that we're going to have at least 10 seasons of this thing. So let's set up as many plot threads as we can. There's so many plot threads by the end. The saving grace of the last episode is Jake Busey is in it as a sort of he plays a sort of similar role to what Gary Busey played in Predator 2. In a hunting down the Predator.
Yeah.
He plays like these. He's only in that episode. He doesn't even have a character's name, but so it's obviously Jake Busey, and he's in a
Yeah.
similar sort of role. It's which is a fun little moment. Nod, I think. Yeah, it's
just one episode as well.
Just one episode. Yeah.
Bless him.
Yeah, I will say they did. There's a famous issue of the comic book called The Anatomy Lesson, which is like a really amazing horror reveal about something. Alan Moore wrote that issue, and they do that in this, but it loses so much of its like bite. So I'd recommend people just read the comic. Watch the first 2 episodes and just read the comic, and you'll be well away. What about you?
Do you not feel like when you watch 2 episodes, you feel like, God, I want to watch them all? I feel like I want to complete it. I don't want to leave it.
I did.
You know, you did, and you were left disappointed.
Some people I've spoken to though really enjoyed all of it. I just
How come it got cancelled?
Well, I've got a feeling it's because it was so insanely gory on the first few episodes. But I've spoken to some people and they really liked it. But for me, it's got that that DC TV show vibe that I just doesn't click with me.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that either. Don't really do much. I mean, I haven't seen much, to be fair, of the DC TV universe. A couple of episodes here and there, and it's nothing's ever really grabbed me. So
yeah,
I haven't watched all that much this week. Actually, it sounds crazy, but it sounds crazy, man. I've nearly finished Kingdom now. I've only got 2 more episodes to watch of season 2, and it's really, really good. It sort of rivals Game of Thrones for like really interesting characters and characters that you love to hate. And the fact that Game of Thrones isn't worried about killing off anyone at any time. Kingdom kind of feels the same, whereas it feels like a lot is riding on a certain character and suddenly they're gone. So it's great. I love the mythology of the zombies as well. They give the zombies an origin, wider zombies, and various people using the zombies to their advantage, and others. There's so many different unique scenarios that are included. So I'm going to try and get hold of the comic/webcomic manga series, but I don't think it's available yet.
Is it not just on the internet? Is it not?
Yeah, there's that, but I wanted to get a print version, which I think is out in June for the UK. So
yeah.
And then I watched Contagion, which a lot of people would probably say was not a good idea to watch during the current climate, but I feel like because the disease is so much worse.
Our disease, this one. I've not seen
the disease
it, so.
and Contagion.
Okay,
is so much more worse. It's almost like strangely like soothing to kind of see things, and there are so many real world parallels between like now and what's happening in this film that it's almost like the film is so well put together because it's so realistic. It just shows how like well researched they must have been, because there's quarantines, there's lockdowns, there's obviously face masks. There's so many different things that are obviously that work with this pandemic as well. So it's fascinating, really, if anything. But it is a really like a brutal film, and it's unforgiving. Again, characters that you think, okay, they're really important to the story. Oh wait, they're dead.
Yeah. I'll give it a watch. I've never seen it. I'll tell you what I did watch. Actually, I forgot about it until just now. Is Return to Oz, because you were talking about it, and I've never seen it, and it seems to be one of those films that everyone should probably have seen. It's fine. I mean, it's good. If I was a kid, I probably would have liked it more. But I like the effects. I like the wheelers and the woman with the heads.
Woman with the heads, man. Mombi.
Yeah, Mumby. Yeah.
Terrifying. It used to really scare me, and it's a really like dark, brutal film, like mental health. Like she basically gets put in she basically get lobotomized, isn't she, at the start, Dorothy?
Electrotherapy, whatever they call that. I was going to say electrolysis, but that's when you get hairs out, I think.
Well, maybe they did that for her as well. 2 birds, 1 stone. On her head. Yeah. So, and apart from that, I haven't seen all that much. Did I talk about? Yeah, I talked about that last week. Don't worry. But that's pretty much it. I've been playing a lot of games, but no story-driven games. I'm playing a lot of Rocket League, playing a lot of Lego games.
But they're good.
Just,
never played them, but they're good.
chicken soup for the soul, aren't they? Like from the video game world.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. I love a good Lego game. Collect all the little bits. Collect all the bits. I've got all the bits in this area. It's a good feeling. It's a good
Like
feeling.
randomly, YouTube occasionally pushes a video, like it says, like, this is the video we're going to post to everyone now for the algorithms. I got recommended. You can tell it's just been pushed to everyone because everyone in the comments is like, this is a weird thing for YouTube to bring up today. But there's a guy who was like a big Lego collector. He had like thousands of like giant Lego pieces in his house. And it was him just explaining that there was going to be no more videos from him because he just got home and all his Lego had been like stolen. And like,
Oh,
it's just like
Jesus.
some bits of Lego and stuff on the floor, like where he'd been making some giant sculpture and someone had just smashed it. And it's just him crying on the thing for like 10 minutes. I don't know. I was like, I don't know why I watched all of this, but I feel very bad.
You watched it all. And you went, not my proudest wank, but well, have I watched all of this yet? I know, that's weird when YouTube does that. What's it playing at, eh?
Yeah. But yeah, man. So and Lake Mungo, which you messaged me about. Well, you messaged me and said, "We sure we want to do this film for the podcast?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Wow, you're not really feeling it." And he said, "I'm only like halfway through. I'm not sure."
I was halfway through and I was a bit like, I mean, I was interested. I was engaged, but at the same time, I felt like, where is it going? Is it going to go anywhere? It kind of felt like that. And I'd seen a lot of.
There's a bit in this
positive.
film where it like deflates, and I'm like, oh, okay, so what? There isn't anything there, but yeah.
So I've seen a few people talking about this film online recently, like a few people, film fans on Twitter, sort of raving about it. And then I also saw Chris Stuckman did a review of it on YouTube a couple of years ago, around about Halloween, and he was really singing its praises. I didn't watch all the videos because I didn't want anything to be anything to be spoiled for me. So I thought, okay, let's give it a go. And seeing as we did Eden Lake last week, what a lovely segue into the next episode. Another lake in the title.
Oh, mate, I didn't even realize. So it's also like the polar opposite of the type of film. That, this is the chicken soup for the soul sort of film in a way, in some ways, compared to Eden Lake, anyway.
Yeah. I guess so. But I've not seen it before. And I don't think, if you'd seen it once before, I don't think you'd probably watch it again, because once the reveals happen, there's not really any going back to it, really, is there? The fact that it's such a mystery. It's a mystery.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of expected it to be more along the lines of Paranormal Activity or, one of those found footage spookathons. But
I don't really know what I was expecting. Karen.
Yeah. Well, it's way more. It's a very quiet ghost story, like a sort of gentle ghost story. And it's. I mean, so Rotten Tomatoes. In fact, do you want to do this? Should we do it properly? Have you got the details for it?
Yeah. Okay. So, Lake Mungo is a 2008 Australian psychological horror film written and directed by Joel Anderson, and starring Talia, Zucker, and Martin Sharpe. That's it. It employs a mockumentary format, using actors in the place of interviewees to tell the story of a family coming to terms with the drowning death of their daughter and the potentially supernatural events they experience after her death.
Yeah. So Rotten Tomatoes 94%, which is really high. The user score is 63. Ooh. So there's a mismatch there. 3.5 on Letterboxd. It's I mean, so it looks very nice. Like the type of film grain is lovely. You can tell it's not made through the normal Hollywood movie studio system. It's made in Australia somewhere. Everything's got like a real homemade quality to it. We sort of follow this family around. There's just constant talking headshots, and many times it feels like it's not really doing much, or like not much is actually happening.
Yeah, well, I feel like what it does a lot is it introduces an idea or a thread or something that could potentially be an interesting mystery, and then sort of like resolves itself by the next scene. So you kind of feel like, okay, I'm invested in this mystery, and here's an interesting idea. Okay, but now it's kind of resolved. So, okay, well maybe I'll believe this instead. Okay, that's resolved too. It kind of felt like that. It kind of kept. There were certain plot threads that I felt like should have been strung out a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, like if you look at like the plot summary on Wikipedia, it's like 3 tiny paragraphs long. I mean, I don't know how much detail we can go into the plot, because it does meander, but
Well, I
that's
guess.
kind of the
Well,
point
I
of it,
guess
I
we'll
think.
say. I guess we'll say definite spoilers for Lake Mungo because I don't think there's going to be anything we can do without
Yeah,
without spoiling everything. So we're going to do
yeah.
that. We'll spoil every bloody thing, mate. So
So go on, you start.
I think there are definite Blair Witch vibes in it a little bit, not just because of the a lot of the video camera footage and stuff, but this sort of strange mystery that happens in the wilderness / within nature, and these unseen potentially supernatural forces. I've read it be described as a bit like a Twin Peaks vibe as well, which I kind of got a little bit with, especially with like the girl who goes missing / dies is Alice Palmer. So
Yeah.
Palmer goes missing,
Oh yeah,
obviously
Laura Palmer. Yeah.
far less weird than Twin Peaks, but it's sort of like small town mystery, I guess, vibe, Twin Peaks vibe. I guess you would kind of agree with that. I would, sorry. What are you thinking at? I don't know what you're thinking at, mate.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. So the central mystery is these people live around this lake. It's not Lake Mungo, it's a different lake. The actual Lake Mungo isn't even really a lake. It's like a desert. But so they live around this lake, and whilst they're swimming, the 2 young ones, the boy and the girl, the sister drowns. I don't know if we find out why she drowned or what
No, so
happened there.
it's like, I think they say it's a dam, isn't it? Like it's another weird thing where the lake in Eden Lake wasn't really a lake. It was like a it was like a
big pond reservoir thing.
A big pump, like a quarry over.
Yeah.
And then this is like a dam. So yeah, we didn't really. It's a weird thing because why has this happened, and why is there suddenly like some sort of documentary being made about it? Because obviously I know it's a mockumentary, but in terms of a mockumentary, you kind of feel like you need to believe why that documentary is being made in the first place. Why a film crew would suddenly turn up, and like, did they turn up as soon as she went missing? As soon as she died, essentially, and then think, let's start making a documentary of this? Or did they start doing it when there were sightings and things?
Yeah, I think it was because all the footage at the start is all from the son. He like takes photos and video and stuff.
Yeah,
I think all the footage at the start is more him, and then I guess the TV crew maybe got involved.
It's really lucky that when she went missing, everyone who went to that reservoir / dam that day was filming or taking photos of some sort. Everyone seemed to be doing it. Well, they had these people over there doing a bit of filming. He was over there taking photos. We were filming over here. It was crazy, mate.
So the daughter dies. We get like lots of like little stories from the various family members. When they find her body in this lake, in this dam, they only the dad, I think maybe his son, see the body, and the body's all kind of waterlogged and her face is all contorted and weird. But he's convinced she's dead at that point. Go on, sorry.
So, well, it was a few days later, wasn't it? He's convinced she's dead. Is she definitely dead? She looks pretty damn dead. Yeah. So he went to identify the body, but the mother didn't go to identify the body, so she didn't get like that closure of seeing that body and going, right, well, she's definitely dead. So there's like there's a few of the family members like don't quite believe that it's happened. I guess they're in denial, like in a way. But then not long after she dies, some weird sort of things start happening around the house, where they hear doors slam and various noises in her bedroom. And there's a moment where the dad, is it Russell? The dad, Russell, he sort of goes into a room and he tells of this supernatural event he has where he basically sees her, and she can't see him, but then suddenly she notices he's there and sort of goes for him.
I saw when I was grabbing some notes for this, there's a review on IMDb, and the review was like having a go at the film because it said, why did they just have that guy saying that? Why didn't they film that moment? as if that was like what they could have.
Yeah.
Like, for one, I think
That's
it works
awesome.
really well with the person like telling you. I think it's quite a powerful moment. I found it a little bit
Yeah.
chilling, but like also like the, some people.
I
Um,
think if there were moments that were like recreated for
yeah,
with actors,
like
which you do get obviously
999.
occasionally, like 999, yeah, you do get occasionally, and most of the time it doesn't work. So I've been watching something like a wrestling documentary at the moment called Dark Side of the Ring. It's on
Okay,
Vice
yeah,
TV, and they kind of recreate certain moments, famous moments from wrestling, but they're all really out of focus. So
yeah.
it's kind of like they're like really dimly lit, so they're pretty much silhouette. But I think it's a really effective way of kind of like breaking up the talking heads with
It's always weird
this.
in programs when you have a talking head, and then the recreated thing. It looks nothing like the person who's
Yeah, yeah.
just been speaking.
This
Yeah,
is pretty good because it's obviously they've got lookalikes for the wrestlers, and they're really out of focus, and you can just see like part of them lit up, or you can see like their silhouette. So I think that's really effective.
yeah.
Um, for
Yes. Well,
something like that,
this doesn't
yes.
do that.
For some,
Yeah,
for something like this, it would have been
yeah,
horse shit.
yeah. So around this time, the son is taking tons of photos, and in the photos, he starts to see little. Uh, he starts to see what's her name, Alice, showing up like
Yeah.
in the background in a creepy ghost way that they always do in Deviant. He's probably got a Deviant Art profile where he uploads these things. They don't go into
Yeah,
detail on
yeah.
that, but yeah,
It's one of those things though, where like now, if any of that was ever uploaded anywhere, video, photo, anything, no one would ever take it anything. No one would ever believe it because all Photoshop and all these things. I know Photoshop existed back then, 10 years ago, but maybe around about then, people were a little bit more susceptible to it. I don't know. Like, I remember seeing Blair Witch for the first time,
yeah,
and I didn't really see anything, but I was pretty much like, yeah, this is definitely real. Definitely bloody real, mate.
yeah. Was that I saw somewhere that like the script for this, there wasn't much of a script at all. Like the majority of it is improvised, but you can sort of tell it feels very
Oh,
naturalistic. Never feels like people are
it
saying
feels natural.
lines.
Isn't it strange though that you can definitely tell they're actors? Like, there's never not a question about it. It's quite strange. I always find that quite. Do you find that quite
I could tell they're
strange when you're
actors because
watching fake documentary stuff?
I knew I was watching a film. If I was like, hang on a sec, I bet
I
they're
reckon if someone
actors.
went, there's 4 documentaries. One's like a mockumentary. I could pick it out, mate. You know what? Get a lineup. I'll pick them out. That'll
I
be the
don't know.
next show.
I don't know. I think you'd be surprised just how unrealistic some people are as people, like real people. I just don't believe them.
Yeah. Okay. Good
Um,
point. Good point.
so, so these photos showing up with the girl in them. There's like one bit where he sets up a camera and like in the reflection of a mirror, you see her doing her hair in the mirror. Lots of creepy stuff like that.
She's
So
very vain, isn't she? She appears in
super
mirrors quite a
vain.
lot. I think she's always
Yeah.
just staring at herself. If I was dead, I'd be out there bloody having a look at what's going
Partying.
on, what everyone else is up to.
Oh yeah.
I won't be like, look at me in the mirror.
Be
I'm
checking my
bloody
Facebook.
dead.
Okay. Update my
Yeah,
status. I'm dead.
update my status. Bloody dead. I'm dead, lol.
At the same time, the family starts speaking to a psychic medium who doesn't feel his
Well, he
name's
might be a
like
large.
well, he doesn't say his t-shirt size. Um, he doesn't come across as like the full blown like Derek Acora style medium. He seems a little bit more down to earth. Like
Rest in peace.
what did you say? Recipes.
Rest in peace.
Oh,
Derek
okay.
Acora.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot he died.
Yeah.
So
Disrespectful.
what to forget that he died? There's tons of people I forget who died.
Yeah. Whoa, he's alive.
Ray.
Yeah. So they meet up with him.
Yeah.
Ray Kemeny. I think he says at one point that he changed his name from Schultz
Oh,
because
it's
he would be more,
Hungarian. Yeah.
yeah, Schultz Kemeny. But I kind of, I mean, I wouldn't judge you, Ray, to be honest. But I think if there was a wise guy, I think Ray sounds like a bit of a wise guy to me.
Yeah.
So he does some things where he speaks to the mum, June, and gets her kind of like hypnosis stuff where he gets her to go under and sort of walk around the house and say what she can see. Just say what you see. It's like catchphrase. So there's bits where she like walks into the bedroom and sees Alice just milling about, or Alice, or she looks sad and various things like that. We don't get too much.
Doesn't she describe Alice herself as Alice coming into the bedroom and seeing the mum and dad in bed and trying to talk to them?
I think. Yeah, possibly. Oh, yeah. No, I think that's her dream.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
She doesn't describe it, but she describes, which is Alice comes in like soaking wet, like she just got out of the shower or just got out of the dam. Yeah. I'm alive after all this, and coming into her bedroom and sort of trying to wake them up and saying, "Look, I'm alive, I'm alive." So obviously, she's dreaming that potentially that's a ghost sighting, I guess, in her dream.
Yeah, I mean, she's dreaming. She's coming to the realization that she's dead, I think, is the implication. Yeah. But yeah, so all this is going on, and then half an hour, 45 minutes into the film, it all gets upturned when it turns out that all the photos and the videos are all camera tricks and stuff put together by the son. He said he doesn't know why he's done it, but he's been superimposing images on these things. And
I mean, he's a talent. Yeah. That's all I can say. Yeah, he's been doing. So they do. So Ray comes over to the house. They do like a séance, which the dad is a bit like, "This is fucking bullshit," to be fair. But basically, a lot of the scares, I guess you call them scares in this film, come from looking at grainy video camera footage of a room and then zooming in really, really far until you can kind of make out what is a face of something or someone. So yeah, I guess that's kind of creepy. I find that kind of creepy, but I think where I've kind of been watching modern horror films for so long, I always think a jump scare is going to happen. And those moments when you zoom right in on the grain and you kind of like sit forward and your eyes kind of go, "Can I make something out?" But part of me's worried that there's going to be a jump scare. So obviously I've been ruined by that. But yeah, not long after that, Matthew basically says he made them up, but he wanted to do it to give them a reason to exhume the body, because obviously around about this time they're kind of doubting that she's really dead at all.
The mum does say, I guess some people the mum does say that she doesn't think Matthew knows why he really did it, but he's got a wicked follower count now on Twitter, so it's probably because of that. Yeah, and this ain't just like standard video tricks or photoshopping. He's getting the film out and he's layering things over and he's cutting things up, and he could probably have quite a successful career. Yeah,
to stop mucking about.
Yeah. So yes, it's all a hoax. So there's no such thing as a ghost. This is the point where the film deflates pretty much like completely, because it just seemed like a lot of build up for what would eventually become nothing. I'm guessing that's when you messaged me. I was like, "Are you sure you want to do this film?"
Because again, the point I made is that a lot of things get resolved fairly quickly. The film resolves them, so it does all this work to build up. Is she alive? Is she dead? Is it a ghost? Is it this? Is it that? And then it kind of throws a spanner in the works itself. And I guess it's supposed to be like a red herring. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's supposed to be a red herring, but at the same time, it does. You're right. It does kind of deflate the film to a point where you're like, well, now I've got nothing left to grasp onto here.
But then there's a double reversal, which I sort of found kind of ludicrous at the time, because she looks at the footage, the mum's showing the footage, and she's like, this is just a camera trick here of Alice Palmer. But to the right, there's another face. It's Greg Toohey, our neighbour.
Yeah.
I think I laughed actually when I saw it. It just seemed a little bit ludicrous. Greg Toohey.
If you look to the right, again, you can actually see another neighbour, but he lives a bit further away, and it's John Johnson, and he's there, he's hidden as well. And then a little bit further down,
Greg Toohey's like little goblin face is just poking out of the shadow. It's like he must be crouched over. I don't know how he's got in there in the first place, but he's it's
how would you recognise him as well? Like I would recognise that. It could be you in that thing.
I've seen someone else crouching like that in the dark with the face poking out of the shadows like that. It's Greg Toohey.
And you go and knock on his door, and you go, bring him to the door, and he just comes around the corner.
He gets his Facebook profile. Yeah, she gets his Facebook profile picture up, and it's him doing the exact same pose. Same grainy footage as well.
That is so Greg Toohey.
It's classic
Yeah,
Greg.
it's classic Greg. Yeah, it's like a proper high. It's like a really high-res picture, but for some reason he's still grainy
Yeah.
in the background. It's his wedding photos. It's his wedding photos. How's he fucked this up? Yeah.
Just the
So
out-focused
then-
grainy person.
Again, this would have been another, because if you remember, a lot of the Twin Peaks stuff was about Laura Palmer having like a double life, and the fact that like nobody close to her really knew
Okay. Yeah.
the extent of her double life, and that was a great reveal in Twin Peaks. Whereas like it almost felt like you got to know Laura Palmer yourself, and then when more and more things got revealed, you were like, oh, that's not like her. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
So I think this was a good reveal, but at the same time, it felt again like a bit too early. Again, another thing where it was like, well, why could the neighbor have been looking for something? Oh, okay, we're going to explain why immediately. Again, another interesting plot thread that was immediately resolved, which I found a bit frustrating. So yeah, what's the deal then? What's he doing?
Greg Toohey is after a videotape that Alice had hidden in the fireplace in the bedroom, and it's a sex tape. Like the neighbors, Greg Toohey and Mrs. Toohey are swingers, and I think Alice was quite young. I don't know how old she's supposed to be.
So
but,
I think they make out that she was a babysitter from a young age, but at the time this video was made, I guess she's like old enough because nobody
so consensual, isn't it? Yeah,
consensual. Yeah, did you find in this that everyone was kind of reacting to what's his name? Brett Toohey. Is that his name?
Greg Toohey.
Greg. It says Brett Toohey here.
Oh, is it Brett? I just thought it was Greg.
There's someone somewhere called Greg Toohey who's going,
Greg
out of it. Greg Toohey.
Yeah, Toohey.
Yeah, so Brett, did you notice that a lot of people reacted? just yanking the old tit, mate. Did you notice that a lot of people only reacted to Brett and nobody sort of spoke about his wife at all? To the point where I was thinking, was his wife even there? And I was like, yeah, of course she was. Everyone was like going, oh yeah, I didn't know she had a relationship with Brett, and oh yeah, this with Brett and that with Brett. I was like, why is his wife not getting dragged into it as well? Like, if anything, if we're talking about Brett as being a sexual predator, then his wife needs to be put in the same.
Yeah, but spin doctors.
It's a bloody spin doctors, man.
Yeah, pulling your tit, mate. Wasn't really having sex with your daughter. Pulling your old tit. Just pulling her old tit. Go on.
And I'm like, Russell, how do you feel about that? And then when your daughter was having sex with the neighbour, he's like, well, if he was here, what he said, like, if he was here, I'd probably wallop him. I'll wallop him.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of revealed.
It is a weird reveal.
I thought it was going to maybe delve more into, this is where I started getting feelings of, okay, maybe there was some sort of, maybe there was a murder, because isn't it strange that
they moved away as well. They
immediately moved away, but nobody really said, oh, maybe there was a murder, or maybe this could be another element to the mystery. That was it.
So I liked that. I felt like there's this whole other part of the story that like is maybe leaving it a little bit open to interpretation, or maybe there's more clues in there. I think maybe there's more to the story there. I feel like those Tooheys are up to no good. Hiding in the shadows like that.
It could have been some sort of cult, some sort of sex cult, some sort of weird something. Some sort of weird something. There's something quite weird going on here.
I think there's something. I think the director was trying to imply that there could potentially be something more there that we never find out. But yeah.
The reason for her she kind of died is never. We don't go into it enough. Even by the time we get to
unnatural.
The end,
yeah.
It seems really unnatural, and it seems like everyone's willing to that's what happened and accept that that's what happened, because things do happen, and they do. But everything that's kind of surrounding it, you think that maybe you'd look more into certain things, especially with those two.
This is the first film after it was finished, so I went on Google and was like, I was trying to find out like the secret. I felt like there must be like a secret extra story here that's sort of not getting told, because it just feels like there's something there. Yeah. But anyway,
go on. Well,
so we're rocketing towards the end now. So they go to Lake Mungo, which is where Alice had spent some time with her friends, like a summer.
We find out about this we find out about this. Sorry, Luke. Sorry to
Yeah, sure.
interrupt you. Just before we find out that Ray, the psychic dude, had actually met with Alice several months before she died to tell him about various dreams that she had about drowning, being dead, and then she basically tells a story about a dream, which seems like it's the same dream as her mum, but from her point of view. Where she comes into the bedroom and says, "Mommy, Daddy, I'm here," and they obviously can't see her or anything like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's quite strange and quite creepy. Obviously, that's probably the first chilling reveal, I guess, because now we're starting to drift towards this idea that perhaps she saw her death coming in some way.
Yeah. The first line, I think, opens with her saying, I think something bad has happened to me, or something like that, isn't it? There's like an opening line, something bad's about to happen to me, or has happened. I don't know.
And that's good. I like that as an idea. I like the thought of time not being not being perceived in a way that perhaps we would perceive it, and somehow we're on a never-ending journey towards death, and it's gonna happen sometime, mate. And sometimes that's a part of our existence. That our end is as definitive as our beginning.
Yeah, you know what? I'm starting to get, the more to think about it, I'm getting more and more House on Haunted Hill vibes.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh
You
yeah.
know, the bent neck lady getting haunted by her own ghost. Yeah,
that's good. I like that. That's good. And there's a
yeah,
lot of themes similar in this film as well. So
yeah.
that's good.
So they go to this lake where Alison spent some time with some friends the summer before. All this footage captured on everyone else's phones has showed her that everyone was having a great good time, apart from her. She was down.
This is difficult to watch, isn't it? Like, I don't know if you ever discovered phone videos from 10 years ago and tried to watch them and go, I can't watch that. It's literally, they're so loud. They're so what am I looking at? What am I looking at?
Yeah.
Also, they were on a school trip. They're all getting lashed up.
Yeah. Did it say the school trip? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah. They say during a school trip.
But they were saying they thought she was upset because she'd lost the phone. She had a new mobile phone for a month, and she'd lost it at the lake. But someone had captured a video of it. It looked like she'd been burying something while she was out there, and everyone else was partying. So I don't know how they found it.
Oh yeah, because
I think
I mentioned this when we were watching it. It was like you couldn't work out any landmarks in that footage at all. You would never be able to find it. And what makes it worse is that they go at night to find it.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh wait a minute, I recognize that murky darkness. I recognize that little shape. Well, just before they sort of talk about the trip, her mum and dad do sort of say, "Oh, she went on the trip. She came back, but she didn't come back with her phone, which she bought for a month before, and her favorite bracelet and her favorite necklace, possibly." Yeah. So they travel to Lake Mungo and they find the tree where apparently she buried it.
Yeah. And then on her phone, they found a little bag, the stuff that she buried, her phone, her bracelet, all this stuff. And then there's a video on her phone. I'll be honest, I found that video clip really fucking creepy. It really got me. I just wasn't expecting it. I think I was kind of zoning out by that point, and it just I don't know. It spooked me.
I was a bit like it was so grainy and so I was kind of like, what am I looking for? What am I looking at? And it almost got to a point where I expected there to be something, at least something, that by the time I saw what it was, I was a bit underwhelmed. It's almost like I'd already convinced myself that no matter what it was going to be, I wasn't going to be impressed. Does that make sense? Just sat there with my arms crossed like that. Come on then. Come on then. Give me your best shot. Oh, it's that, is it? Oh yeah, come on, rubbish.
But I wasn't quite sure what I was looking at. And there's the weird thing that the video shows someone or something a little ways ahead in the dark, and it's the way it moves towards the camera. It doesn't feel like it's moving naturally. It doesn't feel like it's coming towards the camera, but it's moving past us, and yet it's like a weird magnetic pull. It feels like it's sort of drawn to the person. I don't know. It fucking creeped me out. I'll tell you that.
I find it hard because I couldn't I couldn't work out what I was looking at to start with. I think if I could work out where she was and what she was looking at, say if I could see that there was a lake or some ground or some trees, maybe I'd understand. Is because it was almost like pitch black and it was close ups of like the ground and stuff. I couldn't really get my bearings enough for that scare to affect me as much as perhaps it should have done.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. And again, maybe because the film did get deflated a little while before that I was kind of just anticipating anything to get it back there. So it could have been anything, and I would have probably just gone, all right, there we go.
Yeah. So they freeze frame that ghosty thing that was on the phone footage, and then the dad's like, I recognized it instantly. It was the face of his dead daughter from the start of the film. Like, that's exactly what she looked like when they pulled her out from the lake. Yeah, and then I guess everyone sort of like starts to understand that it looks like she'd been haunted by her own ghost from the future, and she knew she was going to die at some point, or she felt like she was doomed. Yeah, and then they're saying that she's moved on, but I don't think she has, because she's in the house at the end.
Yeah, it was weird then, because it kind of... So they moved out of their house. Is that right?
Yeah, they leave the house, I think, at the end, yeah.
Yeah, it was almost like she was at peace because, certain things have been revealed, like, I guess... I don't know about the sex tape. I don't know if you die and go, make sure my mum and dad watch my sex tape. Just before. So yeah, they think the ghost has moved on, and the sort of the final shot is of the family photo of the Palmers, which we saw early on in the... Did we see? It was the similar sort of photo early on in the film. Was that right?
I don't
know. And then it kind of zooms in on the window, and we can see... Again, I guess you would say Alice, but it's just some sort of figure, and that you can't really tell what it is. Again,
yeah. Apparently,
and then
the credits. I didn't watch the credits, to be honest. But I think it was quite late. But it says here the credits are intercut with prior footage, and you sort of see Alice and all these. So she's been in throughout the film.
Yeah.
I never noticed that.
She's been there watching.
See, that's
imagine
that's a Haunting of Hill House thing as well, because he liked to hide lots of ghosts in the main thing. I've got some trivia. I mean, I haven't got some trivia. I've got some name game questions for you.
That's the best kind.
Okay. So the way it works, I explain a film idea, I guess, a film pitch to Ben, and the name of the film will be something similar to Lake Mungo or whatever film we're doing. So, for example, number one. This is a film about a cracking detective, and he finds clues at the bottom of a lake. But every time he finds a clue, he constantly thinks there's just one more thing at the bottom of the lake.
Just one more thing. Lake Colombo?
Correct.
just one more thing.
Here it is. It's in the bottom of the lake here. Number two. When a young girl's favourite fruit disappears, she recalls the time she once saw the ghost of her future eating the fruit. I don't know if that works.
Oh, is it Lake Mango?
It is Lake Mango. Yeah.
I love mango. Can I have a bit? 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 Oh, come back. Oh.
Number three. The circus is in town, but he accidentally park up the circus on the lake, and everyone drowns. All the animals drown, apart from the flying elephants.
Lake Dumbo.
Correct. Yeah. This next one, I very much doubt you'll get because maybe you will. We'll see. Number four. Only when a young lady decides to taste the local lake does she realise that the lake isn't full of water, but it's full of yogurt.
Young lady. It's some sort of yogurt brand, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know if you get it, because I mean, I don't know if anyone else ate these growing up, but I did.
I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue. Was it in like a spherical tub?
Yeah.
What's it called?
You got it.
I can't remember what it's called. I don't know.
We'll come back. We'll circle back. Number five.
No. That's all I'm going to think about.
Okay. Lake Frufo. Frou Fro. Do
Frou
you remember those?
God. Now you've said it, I'm like, no, I definitely don't. Frou Fro. No, I don't remember that. I got it wrong, mate.
They were like little discs,
Confused.
circular disc yogurts, and you can use them as frisbees. Yeah. I don't know if anyone else will know those. Okay, number 5. Every time one young lady goes to the lake, she comes back talking a right load of shit. They should rename that lake to Lake.
Comes back talking a right load of shit. Lake. I want to say like mum something. I don't know. I'm disappointed.
I'm quite lenient with the naming convention these days. So every time a young lady goes to the lake, she comes back talking a right load of shit. They should rename that lake to Lake Mambo Jambo.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Lake Mambo
Do you know
Jambo.
what, Luke? We could have been sat here for four more hours and I still would have not got that. I'd be like, she's talking a right load of shit.
Okay, well, we need to rate the film. I know I'm going to rate it. I don't know about you.
You can go first. You can go first on this one. You go first. Go on.
Well, mine's going to be higher than yours, I think. I think this was an effectively creepy, quiet, reserved ghost story, and I feel like there's more to the story with like the Tuies. I think it's a really well made.
Any Tuies.
I feel like there's something special about this film, and there's a reason people like it. And not like that final creepy image. Yeah, I liked it. I'm going to give it a B, solid B.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty
So
good.
someone else has been to Lake Mumbo Jumbo and all.
Someone's talking a load of shite. Yeah, I don't think it was terrible. Like, I can understand why it's got, so many plaudits. Yeah, quiet, reserved, sort of. I don't know. I think I was just expecting more somehow, and I'm fine for the slow burn. And I like waiting for. I like the scares to be earned, and I like the sort of creepy vibe that it was going for. But I think a lot of it just didn't quite resonate with me, and things that I was kind of latching onto, as I said, just feel like they kind of like just slipped through my fingers before I had a chance to evaluate them too much, if that makes sense at all. But I liked it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it for what it was. But I'm going to go for just a C.
Interesting.
Just a C.
So someone's been to Lake Mumbo Jumbo. Okay,
I've been there. I went there this morning, mate.
Okay, man. Yeah, so next week, I think a certain Dan Butcher, we're going to have a guest on the show. And I think we're going to be doing John Carpenter's They Live.
Yeah.
But the more I think about it, is it a horror film? I think it's more of a sci-fi action film with some horror. And maybe there's not that many horror elements. Is there horror? I guess there is. It's John Carpenter in it, so
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That definitely counts.
Anything else you want to throw at the microphone before we finish up?
Throw at the microphone. Join the Facebook group. Oh wait, you did that on your outro, didn't you?
You go for it.
I'll let you do it, mate. I'll let you bloody do it.
Sure. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, you can become a patron over at patreon.com/Hawk and Cleaver. Thanks to Kovacs Cameron for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Thanks to the listeners. If you enjoyed the show, please consider rating and reviewing. And remember to join the Facebook group, Horror Hangout Board of Advisors. Ryan Chisholm? Yeah. He was recently asking about, he's going through an entire franchise, I think. He was saying, shall I do the Halloween franchise? Shall I do the Nightmare on Elm Street one? Shall I do the...
Was that Ryan or was that Ben Scaife?
Oh, I thought it was Ryan. Is it Ben? Let's have a look.
Both of us. I might have just confused you for no reason there, mate, and I'm sorry if I have. Because, the Horror Hangout Board of Advisors Facebook group is such a tight-knit bunch of individuals. We're like a family over there, That's what I'd say. We're like a family. It's easy to get people mixed up sometimes.
It is Ben. Yeah. So it looks like he's doing Elm Street. And I think I'm going to go watch... I was going to watch it last night, but I was knackered. So I'm going to watch Nightmare on Elm Street 2 tonight.
Oh, nice. Very nice. I not sure I'm
Very
gonna watch yet,
nice.
but I might watch a horror film. You know,
I mean,
nice to watch a horror film that we're not doing on the podcast.
Every now and again, I don't know why, I just get into a right horrible mood, and I just can't. I just want to watch. I just want to watch a ton of horror movies, and it doesn't really matter how
I want to watch
good
something
or
horrible. Fucking hell.
doesn't matter how good or old or whatever. I just kind of feel like blitzing through a ton. But yeah,
Yep. I know what you mean. It's a good phase to go through.
cool. All right.
There we go.
See you later.
Okay then. All
Bye.
the best.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.